First question, Ian Bagley, SNY.
Yeah, Tom, obviously you guys built that lead in the first half. What do you think changed? What did you see that changed in the second half that turned the tides for the Jazz?
Well, I thought their defense got turned up a notch. So they came out, were very aggressive. I think the initial part of the defense was pretty good, but then when we gave them a second and third crack at it, it's hard to beat a team like that on the road if you were allowing the second and third shot. So that was probably the biggest disappointment. But I liked the first half. I thought we played really well, and then the second half we probably could have done a lot better in terms of our defense and giving them the second and third shot.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom. I mean, obviously, Austin was perfect in that first half, and then he picks up the third foul. Is there thought of, hey, let me just roll with this, or do you just have to play percentages?
Yeah, we could have been, and they did a good job in the second half, which we felt we knew they would in terms of trapping him and getting the ball out of his hands, and then it becomes important for us to attack the blitz the proper way and get the second pass to create open opportunities. You want two guys on the ball, and so when you get that should mean easy offense for us, and so that's something that we're usually pretty good at.
Mike Vorkunov, The Athletic.
Tom, you mentioned the second and third shots. They had 17 offensive rebounds, and Gobert obviously was a huge part of it. Was the trouble on the boards, was that just Gobert doing his thing, or did you see something else there?
Mike, I could barely hear you. Can you repeat that?
You mentioned the second and third shots with their 17 offensive rebounds. Obviously, Gobert is a big part of that. But was the trouble on the boards there? Was that just Gobert doing his thing, or was that something else you saw there?
Yeah, probably a compilation of things. And he's a great effort guy to the board, but we also you have to control the ball. And there was a lot of penetration that we could have done a better job with in terms of keeping the ball out of the paint and that sort of thing. So one thing leads to the other, and certainly when Mitch goes to help or Nerlens goes to help, we have to get a sink into his body where he can't jump, and sometimes we didn't get that, and so it's all tied together. And it's five guys working as one, and if one guy breaks down, it's going to show. So that was part of it.
Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Tom, when Austin picks up that third foul, was there any thought in leaving him out there considering how hot he was?
Yeah. And, I just felt like at that stretch, because of the way it was going for us offensively, I thought we would do what we did. But it did cross my mind to leave him out there.
Barbara Barker, Newsday.
Hey, Tom, four tough games in a short period on the road with this team. I mean, is there anything in particular? I mean, what did you learn from this, and can some positives be taken away?
Yeah, we knew going into the trip it was gonna be a tough stretch, and it would be a good test for us. And the games reveal exactly where you are. So I thought we played really well in the Golden State game, and then the challenge was to be ready for the next night on a back-to-back in Sacramento. And so in that game, I felt we had a chance to win down the stretch, and we didn't pull it out. And then the Portland game, we fell behind big early, but I thought we fought and played very well in the second half. And then, in this game, we knew right from the start, Utah's playing as well as anyone in the league. And so I thought our aggressiveness to start the game was very good. And then we didn't sustain it for 48 minutes. And that's something we're still working towards. So as you mentioned, there are a lot of good things and certainly some things that need to be corrected. And I want our focus to be on our daily improvement. And if we're doing the right things each and every day, we'll continue to get better and better.
Mike Vaccaro, New York Post.
Tom, it wasn't long ago that you were in a similar situation, kind of a losing streak, and you guys found yourself pretty, right away and kind of turned things around. You're kind of curious to see what this group's going to be like over the next couple of games, next week or two, just to see how they respond to this little stretch here.
Yeah, and it doesn't, the the games keep coming and the challenges keep coming. So, and you want to, develop a routine in terms of preparation that will allow you to continue to grow. And so each and every team in this league is capable of beating you, and you have to be ready. And so regardless of what your schedule is, when that ball goes up, you got to find a way to win. And we want to develop that mentality, and we want to continue to try to build the right habits. So it's been unusual for us in terms of where we've been with our schedule, but that's not uncommon. There's in the NBA, there's different stretches. Everyone has those stretches in their schedule, and it's how you handle them. So we've had some adversity. We fought through it. We've bounced back, and we're going to have to bounce back again.
Last question comes from Steve Popper, Newsday.
Hey, Tom, you were talking about Gobert before. We talk a lot about what Mitchell can be someday, but can he right now, is that sort of the goal, what Gobert does on both ends?
Well, I think if you went back and you studied the team, Utah, their foundation was built on their defense, and it started with Gobert. And then they were a defensive team first, and then each year they've been able to build with really solid continuity. And now today they're one of the elite teams in the league, but there were steps that they had taken along the way. But it started with their defense and their unselfishness. And guys have gotten better. Rudy's gotten a lot better. Drafting Donovan has been terrific. Finding a guy like Ingles has been huge for him. Signing a free agent like Clarkson. This team is very well put together. They can hurt you off the dribble. Conley was terrific off the dribble for him. Mitchell's very, very tough off the dribble. Joe Ingles, he's got great size. I like wings that have that type of size and play make like he does, because it gives him another point guard on the floor and it makes other people better. And Rudy keeps constant pressure on the rim.
First question comes from Ian Bagley, SNY.
Hey, RJ, obviously you guys built that big lead in the first half. I think it was 13 points. And what did you see that happened in the second half that allowed Utah to get it going?
They picked up the intensity defensively, and I think they really made a lot of threes in that third quarter, and really just offensive rebounds. I think we were playing good initial defense, and then they were getting second chance.
Mike working off the Athletic.
Hey, RJ. With the 7-11 shooting night for you tonight, are you feeling more comfortable just on the ball and creating for yourself and for others now as the season goes on?
Most definitely. I think as you play more with your teammates and you learn the system a little more and what coaches want a little more, I think it gets a little easier for all of us. So I'm just trying to play good basketball.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
Austin Rivers said before the game that he does think the team is fatigued because of the schedule being on the road so much of the time. It looked like that in the second half, but what do you make of the schedule after 19 games, 13 have been on the road? Are you hoping that things will ease up for you guys?
I think just the NBA, you're going to be on the road. Just got to find a way to win games. Really, it's definitely not easy, being having a road trip like this, but you got to find a way to pull out games no matter what, no matter where you are.
Thank you, RJ.
Yeah, Austin, describe that first half and how it was feeling.
It's just you get a couple to go. For me, I was due, man, past couple games. Just been trying to find myself, trying to get back, coming off injury, just trying to get my conditioning up. trying to get my rhythm. Feel like obviously I've been injured, but the last 3 or 4 games I did play, I felt like I was just kind of floating around. I wasn't being myself. So I just try to come out and be aggressive tonight. And then you hit a couple and things happen for you. You know what I'm saying? I could score. So, you know, yeah.
Steve Popper, Newsday.
Hey, Austin, you mentioned this morning about you guys obviously being a little tired. Do you think that had anything to do with the second half there with the way they ran by you guys?
Maybe. I mean, guys are dead. So I don't know what the reason was for that, but just looking across the board with like 5-6 minutes left to go in the fourth, I'm looking around and, you know, it didn't look like we was ourselves in terms of a unit with our energy. Our energy changed second half. They became more physical. They took the fight to us, and it just felt like it kind of fell apart there. And then once it fell apart, they just kept their foot on the pedal. We weren't able to ever try to get it back. It was tough. It was a tough loss, man. This was the toughest one on the trip.
Bruce Beck, NBC.
Hey, Austin, 2 things. On a night like this, would you have liked to have played more minutes? And number 2, you guys played some very nice basketball on this road trip, but is the challenge to do it over 48 minutes?
Yeah, that's where growth comes in, man. You got to understand. I mean, the teams that we played on this trip are, for the most part, not all teams, but especially the team tonight. Those are all veteran players, man. So they know how to. I knew how they was going to react third quarter. Like I already knew what was coming. Now, what I thought we would be able to do is maybe hold it down and find ways to win the game, but that's just youth. That's it. We got guys still trying to, understand, like, when we up 10, 14, I try to explain it just doesn't mean anything in this league. It just doesn't. Teams are too good. Guys are too good. Too much time. So this is what we learn, though. We learn from this. How many times this year have we been up 15 or 14 or 13 or been up that big at half? Not too many. So we got to learn from it. Second half was different. I couldn't even. Every pick and roll was a blitz. Every time I got it, they loaded up. So that's where, like, moving forward, I gotta watch film tonight and see ways I could drive and create. If they're gonna take that much away offensively for me, then I can make plays for other people. So we just got to learn. I got to be better. We all got to be better for 48 minutes.
Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Austin, you were obviously 10 for 10 to start. You come out, don't get put back in until about 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and then went 0 for 4. Is that just a matter? I mean, when you get taken out, is just losing your hot hand? I mean, is that just how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time. It was, I got foul trouble, so I had 3 fouls. It took me out, which is totally understandable. And then I usually don't come in till the end of the, third, so it's just a lot of time. But that had nothing to do with me in the second half not being able to score. It had everything to do with it. Just wasn't there. I'm not going to force shots to just get my numbers up. I could have shot some tough threes. I could have been definitely more aggressive, but at the same time, they were every time I got it, they were loaded up or, they were blitzing on the pick and roll. So that's where you just try to get off it and trust guys to make plays, which guys have done all year. Tonight wasn't our night, but if that same night happened again next game and I come off and they blitz, I would just hit the pocket. It's a 4-on-3. And then I trust my teammates to make the right plays like we've been able to do a lot of times this year. So it just wasn't there, man. I don't think it was the bench. I don't think it was coach. It definitely wasn't coach. I didn't feel any worse the second half. They did a good job. I mean, it just wasn't there, man. I didn't force anything. I in some ways, I wish I would have a little bit now looking back at it. But again, this is where I got to learn. I could be better. So.
Last question, Ian. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Last question, Ian Bagley, SNY.
Hey, Austin, you mentioned it's been about 3, 4, 5 games, whatever, since you came back from injury. Do you feel now that your conditioning is all the way back, or are you still getting back to where you need to be conditioning-wise?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm getting there. I'll tell you, playing in Utah helps. Under this altitude, but I'm getting there. I'm close. My foot's probably like 60, 70% healed. I'm playing through that. I just didn't want to miss any more games. So it's tough. We're playing every other night. There's not a lot of time to heal, so it's just gonna have to heal slowly. And my condition's getting better. I'll be fine. I'm good, man. I'm 28. I'm in good shape. I just want to be personally. I always like to be in great shape, so I just gotta keep going. I'll get there.